Just get over the top of it. Come on. Please still be on. Oh. It's off that weed bed. Up you come. It's a nice big, it looks quite a scaly mirror down there. I better get my net ready. Might be a bit premature, but and like with all things, it's best to just take your time, not panic, and things will eventually go right. Well, fingers crossed. This is lovely. It's just holding me there, just nodding into the weed. I'm on strong tackle though, 18-pound line. I hope nothing will go wrong. I can just hold it there and let it tire itself out. But it looks like it's got a load of scales on it, big scales all down its flank, from what I saw. Whoa. Up you come. Come on. Oh, my blimey. Oh, she's taking me all the way around. No, she's coming back. Where's she going now? I can see her down there. Big swells. A nice big, really scaly fish. God, the power she's got. Oh, this is lovely though. I can see her down there. But this is why we do it. For these moments in the sun. Come on, up you come. You're gonna come up this time. Oh, I can't believe the power. Oh, yeah, mate, you wouldn't think you could do this. Here we go. Come on. I keep saying it. Yeah. Right, out with the net. Oh, she's only just hooked. In you come. I've got a shortened landing net here. It's meant to make life easier. And hopefully it does. Great fun. Brilliant. Right, I suppose I better get you back to the bank.
Is it a good one, mate? Yeah?
Yeah, nice fish. Not massive, but lovely fish.
It was a good old battle you had there, wasn't
it? Brilliant.
Well done.
Brilliant it was. Yeah. Could see it under the water.
So are you enjoying the fishing from the boat then?
Well, trial and tribulation, but...
Getting a bit used to it now?
Yeah. Good fun. Got to show you, Frank.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a nice skeezer, isn't it? Brilliant.
Oh.
Well done.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. Should we lift her out? Oh, you got a mat there.
Yeah, I brought a mat down.
She's in there, nice and safe.
I know you got one on the boat. Good.
Shall we, if you lay your mat there, I don't think we need to do a photo or anything. Just take a nice look at her. I thought you might want to see how scaly she is. There we go.
Oh, belting. So you managed to unhook her in the boat and everything, eh?
Yeah, everything was done. Look at that.
Oh, lovely.
Wonderful, isn't it?
Great stuff.
Wonderful fish.
How big do you reckon that is?
Well, it's a 20, isn't it?
Yeah, about 23, 24.
Yeah. Oh, let me get my hands underneath. Oh, actually, it's an important tip. Watch off. There we go. Throw that on the bank. Because a watch ain't as important as a beautiful, beautiful carp. Well, that was down to a bit of your help there, Frank. Give me some boat tips.
Oh, look at the paddle on. Big old tail, eh?
Yeah.
Look at them pecs as well.
No wonder she fought. Eh?
Yeah.
They're lovely and scaly. Anyway, you were great fun. And get you straight back.
Super.
Won't mess you around anymore. Back you go. Thank you very much. That way, that way, that way. There she goes. Right, time for a brew, I think.
Well done again, mate. Fantastic.
Let's go. Get the kettle on, eh?
I just thought I'd show you something very interesting here. It's something that you might not have seen before. In fact, I don't think you will have seen this. I've got to credit a friend of mine, John Bannister. He's fanatical about using worms for bait. I know we all use boilies and tiger nuts and corn and plastic and this, that and the other, but some of the very basic things are sometimes best. Maggots, you know how good maggots can be. One of the most neglected baits is worms. There's a number of issues why they're not popular. Keeping them is another problem all by itself. The problem nuisance species can be a fair old problem. If you've got perch, roach, eels, you know, you tend to avoid them. Or we may occasionally use them for stalking. Under a float, give it an hour, don't catch anything, give up on the worm. John's took it to a full different degree. He's caught so many big fish on it, loads of big fish. And you'll see in the fullness of time, I guess, with his articles and bits and pieces about the worm. But he was good enough to show me something that I've been carp fishing for 40 years, and the effectiveness of this absolutely blew me away. And I've used it a lot since. I've had a lot of nice big fish on it, and friends of mine that have passed the information on have caught some very nice fish as well. And I'm going to show you a variant on the very basic worm rig, but this is better than the basic one. So I thought I might as well cut to the chase and show you something that I think is dead exciting. It looks unusual, but it works. So if ever you're struggling, you can get this out, and I can guarantee if you've got the patience and the wherewithal to try it, you will catch some fish on it. And what you do, you get some decent lobworms. It costs about 20 quid, I suppose, maximum, to get 100 lobworms. And from 100 lobworms, you get a lot of use in there. You can chop some up, liquidise them, add them to pellets, use them in their own right. Use them for stalking again, of course. But what I do is I get about 5 or 6 lobworms, courtesy of John's idea again, chop them up. We call it a worm kebab, and it sounds crazy, doesn't it? So you chop them in about 1-inch sections. Fairly time consuming, but it's worth it. Use a long needle like this one with a hook on it. And what you need is an extended rig, obviously, to mount this lot. It's quite substantial. So you need quite a long hair. I'll show you. This is about, I suppose, 3 inches long. I mean, sometimes you can use it a bit longer than that even. Then I'm going to get the worm. I've got them on the gated needle ready. Sort of about 3/4, 1 inch length. Stick it through the loop. It's quite a tricky procedure, this, actually, but it's worth it. And pull all your worms down. It's a bit of a messy job as well. There we go. Oh, there they go. Now, can you see? It's crazy, isn't it? But the worms are very strong. You try pulling against them and they want to pull the braid through your fingers. So what I'm going to do is get another rubber stop here. A rubber bead will do, but I'm using a bead off a chod rig. Right, and that's a buffer bead for the casting. So put that down over the gate, slide it into place, pull it in there. Right, there we go. Look at that, that's quite a mouthful, isn't it? Right, and then the next interesting bit is I use these here, these extender stops. Tricky. Right, you can see the worms are exerting a lot of pressure on my fingers. They're actually pulling the bead through. Yep, there we go. See how strong they were? I was struggling to hold the loop because they were trying to pull it out my fingers. Right, now once you pull that into the bead, like that, you can put your worms back down, and that's the worm rig. Right, another point worth mentioning is, with worms, in case you do get a nuisance factor, I mean, I've had catfish last winter up to £52 on these by accident, and plenty of carp. So you get the odd welcome nuisance actually sometimes, but you've got to bear in mind that if you use a heavy fixed lead or semi-fixed lead on a safety clip, you might want to use a running rig. So I would suggest you definitely use a running rig so you get some kind of indication. And that is one incredible rig, I'm sure you'll agree.
Maggots are a very popular bait with carp anglers these days, but one problem you have is being able to keep them for more than 1 or 2 days. They go sweaty or they turn to casters. But that's where preparation at home is really paramount. You need a good cool bag, like this one, and some cool blocks. But plastic bag, get your maggots, place them into the plastic bag, good few points, and then it's not really a pleasant task. Suck all the air out, tie a knot, and it puts them into sort of like a sleepy state. They're there, they're still alive, but they're not wriggling around and building up ammonia. I know it looks strange and it looks like you've killed them, but you haven't. And in that airtight bag, you just drop into the cool bag, keep nice and cold, zip it up, take on your trip. They'll last in there for about 3 or 4 days. Then you need to bring them back to life. And that's very simple. Take the bag back out, empty it into a bucket, and slowly as the air gets to them, they'll all start wriggling and coming back, ready for use. Then what I do, just to make sure they're really lovely, you notice this has got a little bit of black feed on it, but that's actually ground bait. And I had ground bait, not maize. A match angler would use maize, but I prefer ground bait as it takes on a nice nutty flavour to your baits. They smell really good. I've been out here a while now and they're good. There's no sweating, there's no ammonia on there whatsoever. Another important tool is the riddle. Place a riddle on your bucket, put the maggots on top, and as they slowly crawl through, all the dead ones or any of the casters will stay on top and get rid of them. And by using this method that I've shown you, you can fish with maggots for at least a week, no problem at all. So what do you think of camouflage leads then, Frank?
Well, I'm all for them. I actually have a massive selection of different coatings, colours, sizes, variants.
And are you matching them to the lake beds? Because if I had that one or that one,
yeah,
that
of course
might not be camouflaged.
Yeah, of course I am. What I'm doing is sometimes I'll make allowances if it's for a particular job. If you're fishing typically at 8 or 10 ounces, that's just to be able to pay braid out.
Right.
If I'm fishing on the continent using a boat. So I just want the sheer weight to stay put. So if I do get a frap up or something, it's not going to dislodge the rig. But the others, you may think that you've got a selection of leads that really do match any potential bottom, but if you only get a couple, you leave yourself short.
I mean, take these two.
It's such
One's
a contrast.
camouflage and one won't be, depending on what substrate you're
Exactly,
fishing on.
yeah. If you this would look ridiculous over certain bottoms where it's siltweed or a dark bottom, it'd stand out. The fish would probably tolerate that a little bit more, to be fair. This would look crazy on some of the sand and some of the really creamy coloured clay that we're fishing on. It's almost like potter's clay, stuck out like a sore thumb. So basically what I'm trying to say is, if you're travelling in a vehicle, it does you no harm to have a big selection of different colours, different coatings.
put it in the edge, it's the best clue you can get, or if you can see the bottom over the spot you're going to drop it, even better. You just look down, yeah, it's perfect. Why leave it to chance? Because you've not got, don't take any time, you know, to really get it as good as possible.
And to match it up right.
It's sat behind the rods a long time, and it can be all the difference again. So just go the extra 9 yards and give it your best shot.
So once again, attention to detail.
Yeah. Oh.
You in, Frank?
Yeah. Oh,
Got your life jacket, mate. When you're ready.
oh yeah.
Okay, buddy. I'll just get mine. Right, I'll get the boat ready.
Got the netting, mate. Ooh, it's a powerful
Blimey.
fish. Right, let's get going.
Off we go. Hopefully we return with a monster.
Cool. Do you get in the front, Martin?
Yeah.
Nothing to bar us now, we need the motor gun.
Yeah.
Need to get some line back on.
Okay.
Yeah, there it is. It's a nice fish. Oh, it's a big fish. Big mirror. Whoop.
And we return with a big one.
Okay. Happy days.
Okay. You got your net?
You got it?
Big old fish. Great fight. Let's get her up there, Frank. Right, onto these. On the boilie again.
Yeah, they're having that, aren't they? Tried tiger knot on one as well, but Nothing on that one yet.
It's all yours. Right. I'll get the weighing stuff ready. There we go. There you go, Carp. Just lay that over you. There we go. It's all zero, Frank. Make sure she's safely in. Great stuff, eh?
Yeah, well, hang it on these. Them other things are too long. I like these carrying straps. They're much stronger as well.
Okay.
So oh, it's a 40.
40 pounder.
Hang on. Just stay dead steady. 42.10.
What way to start the day, eh? What do you make of that then, Frank?
Yeah, lovely.
Brilliant. Right.
I'll tell you what, let's just lift the landing out of the way.
Okay.
Oh.
Do you want me to go and get the camera?
Yes, please.
Okay. Right then. Let me take the camera off.
Here's a tip for you. Rest your elbows on your knees,
Yeah.
and then it's always easier to.
Look at that. And again. That looks lovely. Head maybe up if you could do it. That's it, that's it. That's it. And I think with photos, try and focus on the fish's head. And don't do pictures at distance. I think that's key, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everyone does massive landscape shots. I've just got this set on P setting, program setting, and a bit of flash at this time in the morning.
Thanks, Martin. Put these zips up. Be careful.
I've got the zip. Okay, let me follow you out. Great morning's fishing.
Yeah. Careful, it's slippy here. Look, the water's lovely and warm. How about an old Jack Hilton style? Sweetheart, nice to see you.
That's what it's all about. Look at the width of her. Let's take a look now at boat fishing, and most importantly, how to be safe. So Frank, what do you use?
Well, the first thing to remember is things can happen very quickly in a boat, even though it's calm now and it's a safe situation. Quite a substantial boat, this one. You know, this is the most important piece of kit, life jacket.
Yeah.
You can drown in fairly shallow water if you're not a good swimmer, obviously essential. This is a self-inflating one.
No fish is worth your life.
No, absolutely not. And I was on Lac de Dare, well, several years ago, and there was 6 or 7 drownings in 1 year on there. And those boats, you know, families, all the rest of it, the usual thing.
So that's the most important thing we'll be telling you today.
Yeah.
safety. Always take a life jacket. If you're not prepared to do that, don't even start with this.
Yeah, so I think they're about 70 or 80 quid, and it's nothing, is it, for your life?
No.
So that's the first thing to talk about.
Okay, what about moving on to the boat itself? What are you looking for? I do a bit of boat fishing back in the UK. So what do you look for though?
Well, this is really thick rubber. It's got two air chambers, so even if one popped, it'd go down slowly, and you've still got enough buoyancy to get yourself back. And it's got a buoyancy aid in the bottom of the boat, which inflates, and that'll always...
I've found them really good, because I used to have a boat with slats, and and these air decks, much more solid, aren't they?
Yeah, and it helps cushion the fish as well, of course. You put your hooking mat in, and then it's the extra buoyancy, and it'll support the unhooking mat better and spongy
Well
effect,
worth buying the boat. That's an extra 30, 40 pounds, I think it is, to have the air deck as opposed to slats. I know with my boat,
it's a good investment.
Well worth buying that.
Yeah.
And also a facility to put an electric motor. Essential, would you say, an electric motor?
Oh, of course, yeah. There's a lot of boats that you get that the transom on the back isn't there. You've got to sort of fabricate your own thing to strap the motor to, and it's ridiculous. But these ones here, they just clip in, very easy to use.
And we've got hidden away here, but there's a big leisure battery here. Any particular salt you use, or?
The bigger, the better, really. Big leisure battery, and they'll hold a charge. You might take 3 or 4 of the smaller ones, but the big leisure ones now that you can get, they're expensive, but it's a good investment again, because they'll last.
What you're getting out of them of boating a week?
4 or 5 days of constant use in and out. Whereas the smaller ones for a car, you perhaps get a day and a half if you're busy getting runs, and then your motor's dying on you in the middle of it all. So the leisure battery is a good investment.
And it's important as well, I've found, to recharge them every 3 months.
Yeah. You don't want to just
when
leave
they're
them
at home, if you're not doing it, put a charge through them every 3 months.
Yeah.
Okay, then we move on to these, the oars, just as a bit of a backup.
Yeah, obviously you can't just rely on the engine. If you run out of battery, you have some kind of problem with the motor. I've had motors go on me in the past where the carbon brushes have gone in and it just conks out, and you're thinking, what's gone on here? Or if you get braid wrapped around the prop or nylon, if you have an accident, go through one of your other lines in the night, it just fouls the propeller or weed. You can be in a storm or rough weather, so you definitely need some good oars.
I like these are fixed. I know I've always had a problem with mine going all over the place. These are fixed. This is a
captive oars,
touch.
These are, you just screw these knobs down and it tightens the oars in place. You can't lose them in the heat of the moment when you're playing fish.
Right, so we've got the boat sorted now. So let's move on to actually using the boat to find yourself a spot, find yourself fish. Now, what are you looking for? You go out, you're in a water, this isn't a particularly big lake, but a huge lake, a small lake, whatever, the spots are the same. What are you looking for? What kind of spots are you looking for?
Well, basically, obviously on weedy waters, you want to fish clear areas, but I don't like the more blatant big spots. I prefer to fish in a small, hole, really. I mean, you've had a bit of success, haven't you, doing that?
Yeah, just close. I like it when there's a transition where it changes from, say, what we've got here, like a clay material, into weed. I like that moment of transition, and I think fish are less likely